All right, welcome back to episode 24. I say welcome back. I say welcome back because we had a little bit of technical difficulty. We recorded for about 10 minutes and my voice was not being recorded.
Yep.
So, but hey, things happen. We keep it moving. Episode 24, as we're gonna call it, the Kobe episode, RIP to the legend. Couple housekeeping things real quick. Well, three of them. One, so we're at episode 24. We missed a couple of weeks. I put this at about 26 weeks of doing this, which is basically a half a year. So thank you to everybody that's been around. We really appreciate it, giving us a reason to keep coming back and doing this. We're just gonna keep trying to give you as much quality content as we can. Number two, please like, share, comment, subscribe. This episode is going to be a little bit more interactive due to the topic, so please make sure you're commenting because it's going to help with more. As you know, Kyrie is going to explain. Even though did I forget to introduce you? Sorry, the weapon case. You know I mean?
Like always. This once.
like always. And then the last thing, we have the Super Show coming up. So we got a lot of pros crossing the stage. We got somebody going to get ready to get their pro card, but we're not going to focus on that today. We just want to say what's up to everybody. Do your thing. TNEC, no excuses, moving ruthless. We're going to do the damn thing, and we'll do a recap episode next week. So, Weapon K, how are you feeling, brother?
I'm chilling. All right, so you were cooking. Like you said, we had technical difficulty. OBS wasn't picking up his audio, so we're gonna fall right back into it. So this episode is gonna be part one of a series called let's call it mistakes in life, right? We'll figure it out. And we're gonna do 3 topics today. It's gonna be falling into temptation. You know, when you're walking down those aisles of HEB and you see all the snacks, being able to say no. Recovery. We're going to talk about how important recovery is, and especially in my case, how stupid I was whenever I was just like 7 days a week in the gym. It's going to be great, yada, yada, yada. And lastly, we're going to talk about listening to everyone's opinion about your physique, good, bad, indifferent. Hey, you look great. Hey, you look bad. The one thing you do have to focus on is your end goal. You know, if that's being just losing 20 pounds and other people say that you need to lose 50, or they're saying, hey, you got too skinny. But we're going to talk about that later. Isaac, let's see if we can see if you're still hot on it. Falling into temptation. Run it back.
That's where we realized that we couldn't hear me. But so I'm trying to think. I said so much. So I'm trying to come back. I'll say this. All right. So with temptation, right? So I'll start with this point. At TNEC, we believe in 0% restriction, 100% moderation. But you have to get to the point where you don't have to restrict anything. That's where temptation comes in, because you have these. Temptation is called that because it's hard. You see what I'm saying? Like if it was easy, you wouldn't have to worry about it. So, with temptation, you have to, number one, control what you can control. So kind of talk about the modern problems require modern solutions. So you're in your first stages of your new nutrition plan and everything like that. Number one, congratulations on taking the first step. So now we have the option to, instead of going to the grocery store, having to walk by your favorites and having to say no, now what you can do, you go on Amazon Fresh, you go to, we're here in Texas, so Kroger, HEB, all these different stores, they all have mobile pickup now, so you can place your order, get everything, look at your list, say, well, this is where I can have. Then you either go in and drive to the spot, don't go in there, and then get your groceries that way. So that's one way to eliminate temptation. So that's why I say control what you can control, because you can control what you bring into your house. You can't control what's at your office unless you're the boss. You can't control when you're at a wedding and things like that. You can't control what's there. So you can't control and keep the temptation away. So what it comes down to is, what are you doing that you can control to keep yourself from giving into temptation? Because it's so easy to give into temptation. Like right now, like I'm in peak week, so I am starving. Everything, dry ass rice cakes look like, 5-star restaurant desserts to me right now, and that's just it's that temptation. And here's the other part of temptation, man. I look so great already, man. This little bit isn't going to hurt me, but it is, because I know the next person's not going to give into that temptation. And that could be the reason why they beat me. And when you're at this level, that really, is the case. Then, then we, we switched over to the lifestyle side and, give it over to Kay. You got to give yourself that 4, 6, 8 weeks up to 6 months, whatever it is that you work on with your coach, to be very disciplined, be very consistent in order to get to that point where the temptation is lower. Temptation is never going to go away. So our job is to see what can we work it in there so that way you don't fall into the all or nothing method where I'm giving up all the temptation. Nothing. I'm not going to eat that. You take one bite. For me, like say it's pumpkin pie. You take that one little bite, and then instead of one bite, and this is where the all or nothing comes in. Well, I took one bite. Oh well, I might as well eat the whole damn thing. You don't want to. You don't want to fall into that. So that's why it's imperative to give yourself that time, have that patience, because that patience leads to consistency. The consistency leads to discipline, to be able to get to that 6-month mark where you look back, you've lost 20, 30, 40, however many pounds, and now we can start working some of your favorites back in. So, okay, what's on your mind about this topic?
I like where he was just like, yeah, you can take one bite and you can put it down and be like, I'm good, I got my fix. Me on the other hand, like I have to cut it out. In prep, I can't. If my coach gives me a refeed, it has to be very like it cannot be sweet stuff. You know what I mean? It has to be burger fries. It has to be sushi. It has to be something like that where he can't just be like, yeah, you like Oreos? Go get a packet of Oreos. Have 4. No, I'm having the entire thing, and you can't tell me nothing, coach. But you have to find that balance. What works for you? You have to be extremely self-aware. If you do fall like me, where it's just like, yeah, I can just have a couple. It's my off season. I can have a couple of Oreos, and then you demolish the entire case. It's just like, okay, mental note, I cannot do that. Also, don't be so hard on yourself. Everyone falls to temptation every once in a while. You know what I mean? That's where you just have to have the resiliency to all right, cool, roger that, and keep moving. Keep pressing on. Also, I wrote this down. If you cheat once, if you tell yourself, hey, I'm just going to have this Snickers bar once and I'm going to be good, prep is going to be easy, I got my fix, you will quit again and again and again. Once you open up that door, that's when the floodgates open and it's game on. And that's where I figured, I look at this particularly prep as a snowball effect. Right, so as you're 16 weeks out, your discipline might not be, monumental. It might be a little snowball, right? But as you keep going, you build up this momentum saying, yo, like, I can say at this moment, what's today? July 19, 2021, I have not cheated on my diet once. Will I tomorrow? Probably. But the only thing I'm worried about is today. Don't worry about yesterday. I cheated on my diet yesterday. I'm going to a office function. They're going to the bar and stuff. I might have a fried pickles with ranch because that's like my favorite thing. Just focus on now. Do what you can today. He put on a great resource of HEB curbside pickup. I do that all the time. Because I know if I walk in HEB, I am bound to walk down the aisles with all the cookies, the snacks, the crackers, the goldfish, and all that good stuff.
Red aisle.
Exactly. Just stay away. So we're going to bounce into this next topic of recovery. Now, I'm 24 years old, right? So I'm damn near invincible. Nothing can break me. But early in my 20s, I was in the gym 7 days a week. That hour and a half window. But I just didn't understand the concept of legitimately sitting my ass down somewhere. Because you think, hey, if this guy is in the gym for 6 days and I'm in for 7 days, mathematically, I'm getting better than this guy. Well, that's far, far from the case. And I want to pass this back to you where it's like, hey, do you have or did you have any clients that's just like, yo, I want 7 days a week, no rest, cut my carbs, I don't need them. And think that they're Rambo?
Yeah. So I see that all the time. And the one thing I'll ask a client, when do your muscles grow?
Yep.
That's why I ask them, because a lot of times, so sometimes you know, people that graduated from YouTube University try to give me some, well, I'm like, wrong, you know. And some people say they don't know, and I'm like, well, it's when you're resting, you know. So if you're not getting adequate rest, i.e., you know, only working out 5 or 6 days a week or 4 days a week, depending on what your goals are, you're not getting adequate sleep, your body's not recovering properly. And that's where, you know, a lot of people get jammed up. And, you know, I'm no longer invincible. I'm 37. So my invincible days are way, way, way behind me. And, but from being an athlete, I learned the importance of recovery. I learned the importance of, as you say, sometimes you got to sit your ass down, you know, and it's tough because you may not actually be tired. You
Yeah.
may not, and that's the other thing. You may not feel you need rest. You may not, but I'm not sore. I'm not, that does not matter, because if you want to actually truly develop and build muscle, i.e., for the lifestyle clients, you know, everybody thinks, oh, it's cardio, cardio, cardio. You actually burn more overall with your resistance training, because that is how you speed up your metabolism. And you have to rest, so that way your body's actually getting that chance to work, to heal, to get, you know, to take what they're getting from those broken down fat cells and repair your muscles and build them back stronger. That's so important. And the only time your body is doing that is when you're at rest. So I'll give you an example that works for lifestyle, but is what we do in our world in bodybuilding. So peak week. So while my physique is peaking, my activity is going down. So one of the things, the way I, the way I say it, our bodies, like when you're going through training and everything like that, my body only ever truly gets one rest day. You know, I'm saying one rest day a week. So it doesn't get a lot of quote unquote rest. Now, when you are trying to peak, you're moving your activity down, your muscles are actually getting the chance to become truly full, truly repaired. That's why it's so rapid. The difference, you'll see a picture of somebody on Wednesday and they still look great, but then you see them on show day, not just because of the tan, like, holy shit, what the hell happened? Your muscles actually had a true chance to recover. Then the easy one, man, if you're getting injured, you don't, a lot of these people that, you know, try to be warriors and, you know, work out 7 days a week, and they're not working out properly, they're not getting adequate sleep, and they just think, oh, I got to keep going, then they get hurt. You know, people my age, it usually starts with the joints, tendons. I got a lot of guys, man, they sitting there out there playing basketball, but they don't stretch and all these things, that Achilles pop just like
Yeah.
that, you know. And that's why your body, and then I tell people like this, you know, from people that watch sports, notice when most of the injuries happen, it's in the second half, because you're more tired, you're more fatigued, you know. So you need that rest, point blank period, so that way you can, you know, eliminate injuries, you can keep yourself, you know, more clarity. But then also it's going to help you with your gains, because there's a lot of people that will tell me they're doing all these different things, and this is really on the lifestyle side. Well, I'm doing this much. I sometimes cut their cardio in half, and they're like, "Holy shit!" They weren't losing any weight, nothing was going on. Here goes another little pro tip for you guys, and then we'll pass it back to Kay. With cardio, right? And this does have to do with rest, but with cardio, your body, and everybody's a little bit different. The shape I'm in cardio wise is different than the shape that Kyrie is in, and that, you know, anybody else is in, everything like that. So, but each of our bodies has a shutoff point. So if you're doing, and it's usually around 30 minutes for the average person, where your body stops burning calories and actually stops burning fat as well. A lot of people don't know that. So so you can be doing, if you're a newbie, you can be doing 40, 50 minutes of cardio, or I should say cardio, but your body has shut off at 30 minutes. So we can't burn anymore. That's, you know, that's DNA, that's physiological. So now you train your body, because all this is training. You train your body to raise that number up so it can go longer and longer and longer. But do you think a marathon runner, do you think they're burning calories the whole time? If they were, they would, I mean, they're already pretty daggone lean. They disappear. So again, so that's why when you get so hooked up, you know, hung up on the cardio and everything like that, that's why we cut it back. So it makes the cardio more effective, and it gives you more time to rest. You cannot overestimate that rest. And honestly, I don't care what age you are. So you look at, you know, Kyrie, now there's a pretty, you know, decent age gap. For Kyrie, it's more about, I would say, preserving longevity. And then for me, it's about not getting injured. If you want to just break it down to very, easy things, because there's a lot, my age, injuries are just like that. You wake, man, look, I sleep the wrong way and I'm like this for, for a couple weeks. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing, for Kyrie, when he gets to my age, he doesn't have his worry of father time is a lot lower than somebody that's, 24 and they're riding on their high metabolism, drinking beer,
Yeah.
going out every night, knowing that, hey, if I got serious, I could have a little bit of a six pack back. But then come they turn like me, they turn 30, they forgot and they looked and and not everybody's willing to get right. I'm one of the lucky few, and I hate to use the word luck, but they actually took that realization and said, hey, I gotta, get this going. But rest and recovery, like I know I was gonna pass you. Let me say one more thing. And what we do as bodybuilders, man, yo, that it's so important, because if you want your cortisol levels to go down, you need to sleep. That's one of the best ways to get those because if you're not up thinking and stressing, oh my God, did I do my posing right? Oh my God, am I gonna you stress, sleep. Just like Mantis and Avengers.
Infinity, yep.
That's just but that rest and recovery, man. Do not undervalue it because you need it.
Yo, it's crazy how nowadays being sleep deprived is cool, right? Being like, yeah, I got 4 hours of sleep last night. It's like dope, bro. And they looking like a zombie by 2 o'clock. Anyway, so I got one more thing on this one. So whenever you take that rest day and you really want to go to the gym, that next day in the gym, you go 1,000 times harder, right? Because if you're like me, right, where you watch very like training videos often, like if I watch a clip of Keon Pearson getting after it and it's my rest day, it's just like, yo, I want to go to the gym now. I want to get after it now. But it's like a bow and arrow, right? Where you're slowly pulling them back and then boom, it's go time. So it's just more focused in the gym. So our last topic is going to be listening to everyone's opinion about your physique. Now, once again, I'm a young cat, right? And this is very, very important for me, where it was just everyone was telling me how great I looked coming up, right? When I can pop up pictures now, you be like, what the fuck is that? But that fed into the ego of just like, I'm good. I'm training hard enough. Oh, I can get away with eating an entire pizza because I didn't eat all day. I need the calories, right? Stuff like that. Or vice versa. Hey, your chest sucks. So, and you know that your chest is pretty fucking dominant. You just need to work on your shoulders. But listen to other people's opinions where they really don't matter. They really don't matter. You take that to account. They're taking up rent property in your head
For free.
and all of a sudden you're going the opposite way. Focus on your goal. Focus on your end goal. Whenever I have a client, the first question I ask them is, who do you want to look like? What do you want to look like? What are your goals? Because that is your true north. That's going to keep you on your path. So for me, I would like to look like Lee Haney or a Keon Pearson. So whenever it's just like, bro, you're getting too big, it's just like, well, shut up. I know where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
I know where I want to end up. Let's go to lifestyle real quick. Let's say we have a young lady. She's trying to lose 100 pounds. She's 250 pounds, whatever. She wants to be 150. She has an idea of what she wants to look in her head. Let's say she gets down to 150. Everyone around her say, oh my God, you look so much better at 212. Do you understand why it's just like, well, you don't have to live in this body. You don't have to worry about, walking up a flight of stairs and breathing heavy. So focus on your own goals. So, Coach, I know this is very prevalent in your game. Let me know what you got.
I can go so many ways with this. So we'll talk about one of our teammates who had a situation where she had posted a picture She was 7 weeks out from her show. And you just never know anything, right? Like why somebody put, and look, there's a point in time where I might have actually said something, but but I know better now. Mm. And, saying, oh, you're not going to be ready. You need to put your show back, da, 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 da. Now, if she would have listened to that, somebody that has no clue about her story, her goals, what was going on, she wouldn't be a pro right now. That's just real. That's not some pie in the sky, because she listened, she would have done that show, and it just would have, so it shows like the power of not listening, but because she took it and she used that, and turned it into, turned it into fuel. I've had it where we've had people that have been on the team. This isn't the same thing, seeing pictures of other teammates, this person no longer on the team, and, saying, oh, well, they don't look ready, da, 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 da. And then never want to apologize, but want to tell them how great they looked and, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And I had to alert them to, no, that's fake and fraud, because they were talking about how they don't look like they're going to be ready and, all this stuff. So I say all that to say, you can't give credence to people that don't know your story. That's what happens with social media, just anything. That's why, number one, if you have a coach, that's the number one opinion you need to listen to when it comes to your physique, your progress, everything like that. Then you have your trusted circle of friends, but then you gotta be real. I'm a bodybuilder, so I'm at a point now where most of the close people, i.e. the guy I'm sharing this podcast with, and the people that I'm around the most, have trained eyes in different things. So when they say you need to bring this up, so for example, the big feedback I got was you need to bring your upper chest up. And I did so, but I didn't go cry in the corner. You see what I'm saying? I took it as feedback. Now, the other way is I'm not going to listen to Jim Bro that, carries his gallon around, carries the bag around, knows everything. He's, graduated with a master's degree from YouTube University and went to, got his doctorate from TikTok. So he knows everything about fitness. He knows everything about going on stage, but he's never been on stage, never done anything. I'm not going to let him tell me something. But that's the problem, because one of my biggest issues, so we're going to be a little personal, is I believe everything negative that people say about me, and I never believe the positive. It's an issue that I have. I struggle with it. I've tried to do things, and it's just something I've learned to try to just embrace. So when I hear those negative things, I take them and turn them as fuel instead of letting them eat me inside. That's the way I kind of combat it. And I know I'm not the only person that suffers from that. And a lot of us have it, and we suffer from it from different degrees. So if somebody's giving you critiques and telling you that you look like shit, and, Mr. 0 followers follows, 700 people and no picture for their thing. you do you even lift, bro? And all that stuff. Don't let those people, get you down with their negativity. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you got to remember, listen to trained people. Now, again, they may not know your story, but that's something that you can take. And you say, okay, well, let me bring that back to my coach. Hey, so for example, Kyrie at his show, he happens to, backstage run into a high level IFBB pro and say, hey man, you look great, but I think you need to book. Instead of taking that as gospel, because you would think that guy knows, he may just only know how to do his shit. Yeah. Or girl only knows how to do her shit. He takes that back to Kyle and say, hey, Kyle, such and such, I ran into him and he said, what do you think? You know what I mean? So if you get untrained.
For that? Were you using like the example that actually happened, or were you just using?
But it just goes to show, because that shit happens.
It did happen.
And I promise to God, you didn't tell me that. But it happens, because in this sport, while there's a lot of assholes, there's also a lot of good people in the sport that we are trying to help people. And then sometimes, the path to hell is laid with good intentions. You don't know that other person's mindset. You don't know their story. For example, if you talk about somebody's extra skin, you don't know that they came from 300 pounds down to 120.
Yeah.
And they didn't do no surgery or nothing like that. So they have that extra skin, or whatever the case may be. And the other part is, so we're talking about kind of the negative side. That's easy to use as fuel. So you can turn that around. That's an easy one. It's the false positive comments. So I'm gonna say it in two ways. The ones that are just people that are just looking, they're gonna compliment you just to get the compliment back. Zeke, bro, you look great. When you are on day one of week 16. So you know that you have no lines and and everything like that. So now look, you're early in your process and you're gonna get to a different spot. But you gotta be careful because then yeah, and you gotta be careful because now you get this false sense of where you're at. And it's kind of like what Kyrie talks about. So now you're like, you know what? Man, I'm so far ahead of schedule. I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna treat myself to a refeed. Coach don't need to know because I look so good, he won't even notice. You know what I mean? You gotta be careful of that. You get people in the comments that are just, you get some people that are just, all they know how to do is hyperbole and just tell you that you are the greatest. They don't know how to just tell you, hey, you're looking great, and keep it moving. They won't write a whole paragraph about how great you are. And the worst part is that somebody doesn't even know you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to downgrade compliments, but the thing is, they can be detrimental because now you're starting to believe the hype. You lose your edge. And I'm going to use an example of that. Conor McGregor, while I still don't think he was as great of a fighter as some people put him up to, the man still won. He was the first ever to have, hold two belts simultaneously. So you can't take anything away from him on that. He's a great marketer. Can't take anything away. But his fighting has suffered because because everybody's telling you make us money, you do this, da, da, da. His edge isn't what it once was. That's why, the Michael Jordans, the LeBrons in our sport, the Phil Heaths, the Ronnies, any sport where you see somebody winning over and over, the Tom Brady's over and over, to maintain that edge, you're not listening to the good, you're not listening to the bad, you're focused. As Kyrie said, you're focused on your goal. You want to be the best, you're focused on that. You don't care what anybody's saying. You focus on the people that you hired, because if you get to a point, you'll hire a coach. That's who you listen to. You don't listen to the Instagram coaches and the Facebook and the TikTok and everything else that's telling you good, bad, or indifferent. They don't know your story. They don't know that you literally, to support your family, have to work 16 hours a day in somewhere where you do not have proper access to food like most people would during their job. So you have to front load your food and then back load it. And then you have to go to the gym on your lunch break, and you only have an hour lunch break. So you have to do 45 minutes of workout and 5-10 minutes to eat. So your physique may not move along as fast as somebody else's. You don't know the people's story. So I tell myself that all the time. When somebody's giving me a compliment or they're being negative, I try to tell myself they don't know my story. That's the first thing I try. They don't know my story. They don't know what I'm doing. They don't know what I'm dealing with. They don't know all that stuff. And that's on the good side and the bad side. So good side and the bad side. Because I know I'm going to believe the negative. I know I am. They're going to say something, man, bro, your waist ain't small enough, like any of that stuff. But you got it. The best thing to do is tune it out. But you can't be selective.
Yes. I wrote that down.
That's where it's so good. And I've tossed you, but that's where you get jammed up. You can't just say, hey, I like that egg emoji, what he just said. Thank you. I'm going to take that and run with it. You know what I mean? You can't be selective. You got to just say thank you, negative, thank you, positive, thank you, keep it moving. So, okay, since I thought what you write, go ahead, baby.
I have this law called use it or lose it, right? For a compliment, are you going to use it or are you going to get rid of it? Same thing with a negative comment. So in my everyday folder, I talked about it a few times on the podcast. I have some comments of people who, after I won the Texas show on Texas Cup, saying, hey, how did he win? Why did he win? I have a video of me, they calling my name saying, hey, overall winner, Kyrie Cooper, or Kirky Cooper. And the dude, oh boy, kind of just like, this guy won? And I replay that and I use it. And it's a dichotomy. And you have to understand, like, yo, I can take the power from it and not have my power taken to it. So you have to play that game. It's like, okay, cool. I'm going to use that every day before I work out. And the positive, it's just like, if I had Ronnie Coleman come up to me and be like, bro, you coming up next. You can definitely use that, and I've done it before as, oh man, like I'm good, I'm great. Or you can be like, this motherfucker has no idea what I have going down the pipeline. Like, you think I'm good now? Give me 5 more years. Give me some more time. You think I'm bad now? I'm about to be the baddest. You know what I mean? So you have to find your balance. All of this is balance, whether it's with food, recovery, or just listen to other people. It's different from everybody. What works for me won't work for you, or it will work for you, or you just have to tweak it just a little bit. So you have to find what works for you, and then say roger that and keep pressing on. But I want you guys to put in the comment section, what are your downfalls?
Yes.
What are stuff that you're just like, you know what, you guys didn't cover this one, but this one kills me. This is my Goliath. Put it down in the comments. DM us if you guys can. Let's have a conversation about it. And let's open up the dialogue on this episode, because there's going to be many more where we might actually, let's bring on some fellow competitors. Let's bring on Pete, Kim. Just to talk about it, because this is very important. Because if I can, like with Isaac, he's passing down knowledge to me so I don't make the same mistakes he does. And the same thing for us to be like, yo, watch out. There's an ambush down the road. You might not want to go that way. Isaac, got anything else?
Yeah, just on that. So it's the duty of an OG to pass on the information. Mm-hmm. Because I always say I coach from experience. So things that I didn't get early on, I want to make sure whoever I wouldn't say touch, but you gotta be careful nowadays. Yep. Anybody that comes, comes, into my circle, I want to make sure that I'm giving them that information. That, hey, but it's our duty to do that. So I'm glad you brought that up. But yeah, man. I've been, as you guys can see, I've been slamming this distilled, so I don't really have much else to say because I need to go to the bathroom. I just can't wait for this recap episode, man. Next week, I'm glad we got to talk about this topic. Topics, but the broader topic of mistakes. Mm-hmm. That's something that we definitely we're going to keep going on. So please comment, and then like always, like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, real quick, shout out to my man Raymond. Yams, your ambition manifest success.
Does it have a back?
Huh? This is front.
No, does it have anything on the back?
No, this one I got the plain one, and then I had to make sure I covered up my hair. I don't want to see nobody. Got the hoodie. I got the hoodie. Got the beanie. Was wearing that today too.
That shit kind of cold.
Yeah, I love it.
Anyway, yeah, shout out to Raymond if you ever want to come on. I got a lot of questions, brother. I got a lot of questions, but I appreciate you guys for tapping in this week. Same time next week, 07, every Tuesday. You can count on it. And next week, that 9 is going to be 13, 14, 15, 16. We'll see.
Some of us are going against each other, so.
Oh, yeah. Damn. That's rough. Y'all throw it, man. Damn. All right, but I appreciate you guys. We'll catch you later.
Peace.